Have you ever wondered what might happen when you're completely alone in the wilderness? No distractions, no safety, just you in the vast, unyielding wilderness. But then, something isn't quite right. What would you do if you felt something, or something watching you in the dead of night? Well, it happened to a hiker in Idaho, and it's something that's haunted him ever since. Alone in the woods, far from civilization, he thought he was ready for anything, but he couldn't have prepared for what he would encounter that night. This wasn't just any hike. It was in the wilderness of Idaho, a place known for its rugged beauty and abundant wildlife, including both black bears and grizzly bears. Most people wouldn't dare venture here alone, but he wasn't like most people. He knew the basics of camping, had hiked this terrain many times, and sought out the most remote trails, avoiding the usual tourist spots. The trail he chose this time was barely used, a quiet hidden path that led to an open spot with breathtaking views of the mountains. With the nearest trail being 3 miles away, the area felt untouched, and he was thrilled to be away from the crowds. The sun began to set, and he found himself nestled by a campfire, the warmth of the flames mixing with the cool night air. As he roasted marshmallows and stared up at the stars, the eerie silence of the valley was suddenly broken by footsteps. It wasn't the soft rustle of wildlife, but the unmistakable crunch of leaves, footsteps from someone else. He froze, unsure of what to do, until the figure emerged from the shadows. A man barely visible under the flickering firelight. The man looked at him, then at his campsite, and without any explanation, muttered an almost inaudible sorry before disappearing back into the woods. His voice was barely a whisper, as if trying not to disturb the stillness. What was he sorry for? And why did he feel the need to leave so quickly? The hiker was left in stunned silence, confused yet unsettled. Was the man looking for a campsite, or was something else going on? Hours passed, the clouds rolled in, and the quiet wilderness returned. But then, just as the hiker thought he could relax, he heard it again. Footsteps. This time, they were hurried, almost frantic. He stood up, scanning the woods, and sure enough, the same man reappeared. But this time, something was different. The man was disheveled, covered in dirt, his eyes wide with fear, as if he had been through something terrifying. He didn't look like the calm hiker from earlier. He looked desperate. "Are you lost?" the hiker asked, worried that he might be able to help. But the stranger shook his head, muttering something about just hiking through the woods and being fine. Then, the man's eyes kept darting to something behind the hiker, his gaze shifting nervously. "Is it just you here?" he asked, his voice growing strained. The hiker, now feeling uncomfortable, looked around and reassured him that he was alone, but the man wasn't convinced. "Where are the others?" he demanded, his face now twisted in confusion and paranoia. Things took an even darker turn when the man asked, "Why are you with her?" The hiker's heart raced as he turned to look behind him. The woods were silent, empty. He was alone, but the man was still staring at him, his wide eyes locked onto something or someone behind him. The question was chilling. The man had been alone when he arrived, yet now he was accusing the hiker of being with someone. Who? The hiker turned back to find the man's face frozen in terror, his eyes glued to the darkness beyond. And then, as if something had snapped, the man bolted, running deeper into the woods, disappearing into the night. The hiker stood there, confused, heart pounding. What was going on? He grabbed his gear and started to leave, feeling the overwhelming urge to get out of the woods as fast as possible. The whole experience didn't sit right with him. Had he been followed? Were there other people out there? His thoughts raced as he walked briskly, his senses on high alert. Every rustle of leaves, every shift of the wind made him turn his head, half expecting someone to be following him. Over the years, he came to a conclusion. The man had likely been lost, delirious from hunger and exhaustion. His paranoia had set in, and when he saw the hiker, he didn't see someone who could help, but someone to fear. The wilderness had driven him to madness, but there was another possibility, one that was far more sinister. What if the man wasn't just lost? What if someone was following him? What if the stranger had been running from something much worse? What happened to the man? Was he truly alone, or was there someone or something stalking him through the night? The hiker will never know for sure. What remains is an unsettling memory, a question that will linger forever.